Islam teaches that life is full of challenges, and these challenges are tests from Allah. While every individual faces trials, there are certain tests that are particularly difficult, reserved for those who are chosen by Allah for greatness. These tests require immense patience, strength of faith, and resilience. In this article, we will explore the 7 hardest tests that only the chosen ones survive according to Islamic teachings. Test 1: the test of faith, Iman. The first and most significant test that every believer faces is the test of faith, Iman. This test challenges the strength of one's belief in Allah, especially when life becomes difficult. It's easy to profess faith when everything is going smoothly, but true faith is proven when we are confronted with trials and hardships. One of the most profound examples of this test is found in the story of Prophet Abraham. Allah commanded him to sacrifice his beloved son, Ismail. The emotional and physical toll of such a command was unimaginable, yet Ibrahim's faith did not falter. He trusted Allah's wisdom and plan, even when the test seemed unbearable. His unwavering trust in Allah's will, above all else including his own love for his son, shows the depth of his Iman. Ibrahim's example teaches us that faith is not just about believing in times of ease, but about maintaining that belief even when the path is difficult and the heart is heavy. The test of Iman calls us to trust in Allah's wisdom, knowing that He always has a greater plan, even when we cannot understand it. It's in these moments of struggle that our faith is truly forged and strengthened. Test 2: the test of patience, sabr. Patience, sabr, is a cornerstone of Islamic teaching, a virtue that helps believers navigate life's challenges with resilience and faith. In times of adversity, patience is not just about enduring the hardship, it is a means of drawing closer to Allah. The Quran emphasizes the importance of patience, stating, "O you who have believed, seek help through patience and prayer." Indeed, Allah is with the patient. Quran 2:153. This verse reminds us that patience is not a passive act, but an active form of worship, where we rely on Allah's support and seek His guidance. One of the most powerful examples of patience is found in the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Throughout his life, he faced immense trials, from the persecution in Mecca to the challenges in Medina. Yet his patience remained steadfast. He never gave in to despair, and he trusted in Allah's plan for him and his followers. The Prophet's peace be upon him ability to endure hardship without losing his faith provides a model for Muslims to follow. The test of patience calls us to persevere through our difficulties, to trust in Allah's timing, and to remain hopeful. In doing so, we not only grow spiritually but also strengthen our connection to Allah, who promises His support to those who are patient. Test 3: the test of loss and grief. Losing a loved one is one of the most difficult trials anyone can face, and the grief that accompanies it can be overwhelming. In Islam, however, we are taught to respond to loss with patience, sabr, and faith, acknowledging that everything happens according to the will of Allah. Grieving is natural, but our response to that grief is what truly defines us as believers. A powerful example of enduring loss is found in the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who faced the death of his beloved wife, Khadijah. Her passing was a tremendous loss for the Prophet, peace be upon him, not only emotionally but also in terms of the support she provided him during the early days of his prophethood. Yet, despite the depth of his sorrow, the Prophet PBUH remained steadfast, trusting in Allah's plan. The Quran reminds us in times of loss, indeed we belong to Allah, and indeed to Him is our return. Quran 2:156. This verse reinforces the reality that life and death are in Allah's hands, and our journey in this world is temporary. Loss is not a punishment, but a test and opportunity to demonstrate how we manage our grief and place our trust in Allah. By maintaining patience and faith through these trials, we strengthen our connection to Allah and grow spiritually. Test 4: the test of wealth and poverty. In Islam, both wealth and poverty are considered tests that reflect a person's relationship with Allah. Wealth can be a test of humility, as those who are prosperous may be tempted by arrogance, greed, or a sense of superiority over others. It is easy to become detached from faith when material comfort clouds one's perspective, but Islam teaches that wealth should be seen as a blessing to be shared, not a tool for self-indulgence. On the other hand, poverty comes with its own set of trials. Those who are struggling financially may face feelings of despair, frustration, or even a lack of gratitude for what they have. It can be difficult to maintain trust in Allah when one feels deprived, but Islam emphasizes that true contentment lies in accepting whatever Allah has decreed. A powerful example of enduring both wealth and poverty is found in the story of Prophet Ayyub Job. He was blessed with immense wealth and health, but then faced severe loss, suffering from both poverty and illness. Despite his hardships, Prophet Ayyub never lost his faith in Allah. His story teaches us to be content with whatever Allah has given us, whether in times of abundance or scarcity, and to trust in His plan. Both wealth and poverty are opportunities for growth and reflection on our reliance on Allah. Test 5: the test of physical suffering and illness. Physical suffering is one of the most challenging trials that a person can endure. Illness, chronic pain, and physical hardship not only test our endurance but also our patience, sabr, and reliance on Allah. In Islam, we are taught that suffering is not a sign of punishment, but rather a test of faith, one that strengthens our connection to Allah if we endure with perseverance. A profound example of enduring physical suffering is found in the story of Prophet Ayyub Job. He faced an immense trial when he lost his wealth, his family, and his health, suffering from a debilitating illness for many years. Despite the severity of his afflictions, Prophet Ayyub never lost his faith or turned away from Allah. His patience and steadfastness during this trial were so great that they earned him Allah's mercy and a reward in both this life and the hereafter. Prophet Ayyub's story teaches us that even in the face of illness and physical suffering, we can find spiritual healing by remaining close to Allah. It reminds us that Allah is always with us, and through our trials, we have an opportunity to grow in faith, patience, and gratitude. When we endure suffering with trust in Allah's wisdom, we are rewarded with both spiritual strength and ultimate peace. Test 6: the test of social pressure and oppression. The test of social pressure and oppression is one of the most profound challenges a believer can face. Throughout history, Muslims have endured immense social rejection and persecution for their faith, and this continues in many parts of the world today. The early Muslims in Makkah, including the companions of the Prophet Muhammad PBUH, were subjected to severe trials, torture, exile, and ridicule, simply because of their belief in Allah. One of the most iconic examples of steadfastness during oppression is the story of Bilal ibn Rabah, one of the Prophet's peace be upon him earliest followers. Bilal was enslaved and tortured by his master, who sought to force him to renounce his faith. Despite the extreme physical suffering, Bilal's response was unwavering, Ahad Allah is one. His refusal to abandon his belief in the face of such hardship became a symbol of strength and devotion to Allah. The story of Bilal and the early Muslims teaches us that social pressure and oppression are tests of our commitment to faith. Standing firm in the face of adversity, even when society rejects us, demonstrates our true dedication to Allah. In such moments, our faith becomes our greatest source of strength, and we are reminded that Allah is always with those who endure for His sake. Test 7: the test of temptation and sin. The temptation to sin is a test that every Muslim will face at some point in life. Temptations come in many forms: wealth, lust, power, and the ego, and can be particularly challenging when they offer immediate gratification or self-interest. Islam teaches us that true success lies not in giving in to these desires, but in resisting them and remaining steadfast in righteousness, trusting that Allah's rewards are far greater than any fleeting pleasure. One of the most compelling stories of resisting temptation is that of Prophet Joseph. When he was young, Yusuf was faced with a powerful temptation, the wife of his master, who sought to seduce him. Despite the immense pressure and the opportunity for worldly gain, Yusuf rejected her advances, saying, "My Lord, I seek refuge in you from this." Quran 12:23. His strength in resisting temptation not only saved him from sin, but also led to Allah's favor, ultimately making him a great leader. Yusuf's story teaches us that resisting temptation requires immense strength, but it is through this very struggle that we are rewarded. When we are tempted, we are reminded to seek refuge in Allah and ask for His help in maintaining our faith and integrity. By turning to Allah in these moments, we strengthen our resolve and grow spiritually. Conclusion: life's hardest tests are never easy to endure. However, they offer an opportunity to grow spiritually, deepen our trust in Allah, and prepare for the hereafter. The Quran teaches that after hardship comes ease, and with every trial there is a reward for those who persevere. The chosen ones are those who remain patient, steadfast, and hopeful, knowing that Allah's wisdom is beyond comprehension. To survive these tests, we must keep our faith strong, turn to Allah in times of difficulty, and trust in His plan for us.